Okay, I'm going to talk about gonioscopy. First, we need to know some points about the anatomy. This is a small video about the anatomy of the anterior chamber. It extends 360 degrees. It's located between the iris, ciliary body, and sclera, and the cornea. This part of the sclera is known as the trabecular meshwork. Embedded in this wall, in this area, the canal of Schlemm. It extends here 360 degrees. This prominent part, we call it the scleral spur. This is the posterior limit of the trabecular meshwork. And this is the cornea in its position. So the trabecular meshwork is located anteriorly between the Schwalb's line, which is the end of the desmus membrane, and posteriorly by the scleral spur. This area got holes in it. Aqueous find its way through these holes to reach to the canal of Schlemm. The trabecular meshwork formed of layers. From toward the anterior chamber, we got these bands of thin pigmented parts of the uveal tissue. We call it the uveal meshwork, fine strands, pigmented. Then we got scleral part, which is the corneoscleral meshwork with holes in it. And finally, we get a layer of cells, we call it the juxtacanalicular tissue, before reaching to the canal of Schlemm. The corneoscleral meshwork is formed of collagen bundles, and over these bundles we get endothelial cells. These endothelial cells extend anteriorly with the endothelium on the back surface of the cornea. The collagen bundles are arranged in layers, and in between we get holes. The holes is widened toward the anterior chamber, and as we get deeper toward the canal of Schlemm, the size of these holes gets smaller and smaller. So these are the collagen bundles in yellow, and each covered with endothelial cells. And aqueous find its way between these bundles. Then it will reach to this layer, reddish here. This is the juxtacanalicular tissue. It's a layer of compact cells, and it is believed this is the site of resistance of aqueous passage in cases of primary open-angle glaucoma. Then you get the canal of Schlemm. It's a lumen covered with endothelial cells, and the aqueous should pass through the endothelial cells itself to reach to the cavity of the canal of Schlemm. So aqueous, to find its way, it has to pass through the endothelial cells itself. This is known as the endothelial vacuoles, and pilocarpine used to improve this, to get these vacuoles more and more, so it get increase of the aqueous outflow. Then we come to the canal of Schlemm. It's oriented circumferentially, it's oval in shape, and from the outer surface of the canal of Schlemm, we get these collector channels that get the aqueous to the surface to reach to the aqueous veins, to the episcleral and subconjunctival vessels. So we get here the trabecular meshwork. Then if you go a little bit behind, you will see part of the ciliary body. So we call this the ciliary band. Then we have the root of the iris. This is the anatomy of the angle.